Hello, everyone. Today, I'd like to share some reflections with you on an important Ignatian virtue, and Christian virtue for that matter. And that virtue is called gratitude. The dictionary defines gratitude as the quality or feeling of being grateful or thankful. One of my favorite poets, a pastor and poet, Steve Garnis Holmes, has written a number of poems about gratitude. I want to quote from one he entitled Thanks. In it he says, "Take nothing for granted, even sunlight or breathing. Don't let your privilege blind you to the sheer undeserved miracle of your blessings. Don't think you're entitled to colors or conversation. Let gratitude overwhelm you, sneak up behind you, and lift you off your feet." What a wonderful description of gratitude that the poet gives us. But that's what being thankful does. It lifts us off our feet. And God knows during these days, we need to be lifted off our feet. Now, I visit the first grade pretty regularly when they're at the school. In fact, I call them my council of wisdom because they come out with very wise things. And one of the things that I share with them is how we, as Catholics, pray. And I use a book that an author in the Bay Area wrote. A simple little book, thin little book. Father Mike likes thin books. She gets to the point. Her name is Anne Lamott, and the title of the book is Help, Thanks, Wow, the 3 essential prayers. Father Mike wants to talk about one of those essential prayers, thanks, because that's a prayer of gratitude. I remember last year when I was visiting the first grade, I asked the children, well, what in the world could we be grateful for? And they came up with 1,000 things. And one of the little boys in the room raised his hand, and I said, what do you think we could be grateful for? And he said, well, Father Mike, we should be grateful for gravity. Now, I was struck by that. And I said, well, why should we be grateful for gravity? And he said, because, Father Mike, if there weren't gravity, we'd all be floating up on the ceiling. Now, that's someone who's got the heart of gratitude, doesn't take anything for granted, and is grateful for the smallest and the largest things. So, today, I want to ask you, what are you grateful for? What are some of the blessings, the gifts that God has given you this day that we haven't noticed, that we haven't taken time to notice? Because if we noticed, we would have to say thank you. And that gratitude list will grow and grow and grow and grow. Moms and dads, you can be grateful for your children, for your parents. Children, you can be grateful for your parents and your grandparents, for your classmates who are at a distance now, but they're still your classmates. Some of the parishioners have responded to my earlier Fireside Chats and said, you know, Father Mike, some of us live alone. We don't have that blessing of a companion. Their life companion, in many cases, has died. What gift then do they have? I think they have the gift of memory. A poet once said that God gave us memories so we could have roses in December. So let the memories of those wonderful times together fill you with gratitude. The poet E.E. Cummings, I like him because he's a wonky poet. He's like a picture that isn't straight. It's off kilter, and you want to straighten it. But because he writes in that way, he gets us to think about things we don't normally think about. He says in one of his poems, "I thank you, God, for this most amazing day." And then he lists some of the amazing parts of the day. And at the end of it says, "Now the ears of my ears awake, and now the eyes of my eyes are opened." That's my prayer for all of you, for your families, for your friends, that the ears of your ears will be awake, and the eyes of your eyes will be opened to all the blessings, to all of the gifts of this day. So Father Mike wants to finish with a prayer that he discovered just this morning. It's called "When This Is Over," and it gives us reason to be grateful and hopeful. The poet is Laura Kelly Fanucci. Italian name, gotta be a good poem. And she writes, "When this is over, may we never again take for granted a handshake with a stranger, full shelves at the store, conversations with neighbors, a crowded theater, Friday night out, the taste of communion, a routine checkup, the school rush each morning, coffee with a friend, the stadium roaring, each deep breath, a boring Tuesday, life itself. When this ends, may we find that we have become more like the people we wanted to be. We were called to be. We hoped to be. And may we stay that way, better for each other because of the worst. So my prayer for all of you is that you stay grateful, that you stay hopeful, and that you stay safe. God bless you all.